on the outside of the pack. And they're both right in the middle. And hardcores get lead. Malice has made their way out of the pack. Meanwhile, Slamdra has made her way through again, scoring 4 points. Slamdra is being held at the back of the pack as Malice sneaks her way past on the inside. Both are out of the pack and have both scored 4 points each. Jammers are coming around on turn 3, entering the engagement zone. And Slamdra calls it off, gaining 2 points for the hardcores, and Malice scored 4 for Scandalous.
Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being. Got Casket up against Space Case. Space Case up at the front of the pack. It's knocked down by the hardcore blockers. And while Casket wrapping around the front, gets recycled into the pack, all the way to the back of the pack. But sneaks through up front and grabs lead. Space Case hot on their heels. The two jammers enter the engagement zone simultaneously. Casket tries working around the outside, gets knocked out, comes in around the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Space Case in the middle of the pack, stuck in a hardcore's wall. It's a power jam for the hardcores as Casket sneaks through and makes it easy 4 points. The defensive wall pushes the pack aside, and Casket is through again for another 4 points. Once again, the hardcores are working on a sweep, but Casket tries the outside, spins around the outside, dekes to the inside, and is through once again. That's their third 4 point pass in this power jam. Make that 4. And the jam has been called off.
The Zone 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner, playing today's modern rock. The Zone is live on the airwaves right here from in Victoria. In fact, they're just down the street. Jamming for the hardcores, we've got number 8, Scream Soda. And jamming for Scandals, we've got 2-4, Summit Slayer. Summit is being held back at the back of the pack. Tried to sneak her way through, passed on the outside. Scream Soda is fighting her way through the front and gets lead. Both jammers are out and have done their initial pass. Both jammers are back in the engagement zone. Scream on the outside, and she calls off the jam. Gaining 3 points for the hardcores. No points scored for Scandals.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby on Viewfield Road or on site here tonight. It's just to our left. We have Slamdra Bullock up against Lilyhammer. Lilyhammer skates up the inside. Slammed Bullock trying to follow suit, gets knocked by the Scandal's back wall. Lilyhammer is through for lead jammer. This is the first lead for the Scandals. Lilyhammer is through for their first scoring pass. Slammed Bullock almost through, but it gets knocked back into only the front of the pack. It's knocked down once again. That Scandals wall just surrounding them. Looks like there is a cut track for Slammed Bullock, and we have a power jam for the Scandals. Oh, we have the two jammers in the box.
So we need to have a jammer to have gameplay. So what happens is whoever sits first, as soon as the other jammer sits, they get released. And so that gameplay can continue.
And the second jammer only serves the exact same amount of time as the first jammer served. We will go to full 2 minutes as they were both in the penalty box and there is no lead jammer. Slammed Bullock through for another scoring pass, as is Lilyhammer. Lilyhammer trying to sneak up the inside, gets knocked down, and no, it's Slammed Bullock that's up the inside. It's now Lilyhammer on the outside. Comes through, grabs the points, but the jam is ended due to time.
Our amazing crew of dedicated officials is one of the Eves of Destruction's biggest assets. From the non-skating officials to on-skate officials, they make it possible for us all to enjoy the sport we love so much. You can talk to any official or EOD member to find out how you could become a part of this awesome crew. We have another official timeout. Jamming for the hardcores is 135 Casket, and jamming for the Scandals is 86 Sarah Strange.
So the fundraising for the charter, that's the charter, like as in like the EOD charter fundraising? Yeah, okay. Whose number is that? Casket. Okay.
And the jam has begun. Both jammers in the middle of the pack. And Sarah Strange gets knocked out and drawn back. Casket's fighting their way through the front and gets lead. Sarah Strange still fighting their way through at the back of the pack and held off for a little bit there by Dart, or Frog rather, who has been sent to the box. Sarah Strange has completed her initial pass. Both jammers are out of the pack, and both have scored 4 points. And Sarah Strange is being sent to the box for a forearm. It is a power jam for the hardcores, as Casket makes their way through again, scoring another 4 points. Casket's back in the engagement zone and sneaks by on the inside, scoring another 4 points. Casket is coming back into the engagement zone. Sneaks past on the outside, gaining another 4 points. Sarah Strange makes her way through the pack and scores another 4 points. Casket gets knocked out and recycled back as Sarah Strange sneaks by on the inside of the track.
We have a couple of fundraisers going on this evening. We have the fundraiser for the EOD charter happening over at the crafts table. And we have a popcorn fundraiser for Team Canada Junior. So grab yourself some of that popcorn. Oh, both jammers got sent to the box at the end there. They're both leaving the... Wow. Okay. So we will start this jam with both players being released from the penalty box. Does that mean no lead? Oh, no, lead is open. The lead is open, okay. And here they come. We have Casket up against Sarah Strange. Sarah Strange around the outside grabs lead for the Scandals. That is the second lead jam for the Scandals this evening. And Casket makes their way through the pack, completing their initial pass, whereas Sarah Strange picks up the first scoring pass, calls it off for a 4-0 jam.
Hotel Z rebels against the ordinary, combining a retro aesthetic with modern comfort. Hotel Z is the antidote to boring travel. And jamming for the hardcores is 006 Ultraviolet. And jamming for Scandalous is Malice in Wonderland. This is Ultraviolet's first time up at jamming. Scandals gets lead. Ultraviolet hands over the star to Scream Soda. Scream Soda sneaks through in the middle of the pack, gaining 4 points. Scream Soda re-enters the engagement zone and leaps that apex and gains another 4 points. Malice in Wonderland is still fighting that hardcore wall. Scream Soda back in the engagement zone, sneaks right on through in the middle, gaining another 4 points. Malice in Wonderland still being held back by Ultraviolet as Scream sneaks by again, getting another 4 points. Scream it back in the engagement zone. Trying to work her way through on the inside. Moving tactics to the outside of the pack, and Malice calls off the jam.
Hey, have you tried Empire Donuts yet? It's made with fresh ingredients by hand from scratch. Over here on the left, and if I may recommend, I hope they have the Earl Grey tonight. Do you have the Earl Grey tonight? They do indeed. Fantastic. And yes, get your Earl Grey donuts quickly because they do sell out pretty fast. And skating for the hardcores, we have Leslie McGuire up against Space Case. This is the first jam for Leslie. And Space Case takes a dive towards the middle, whereas Leslie crawls up the inside and not through. Leslie gets knocked out, recycled to the back of the pack, and Space Case is working the outside. Leslie back up through to the front. Taekwon Doom holding them back. No, that is Maniacal Misfit holding back, but Space Case is through for your for lead jammer. Space Case goes to jam up the inside, gets stopped. Leslie's stuck in the front wall of the Scandals. It is a power jam for the hardcores. And as Space Case was lead jammer and has lost lead jam status, it is now gone to a full 2 minutes.
That jam was called for injury.
We want to thank the crew of St. John Ambulance here to make sure that we are all okay.
So keeping about staying healthy. One of our sponsors is Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center, where they offer personalized care and meet specialized treatments where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being. That is the end of the official timeout, indicating that we have at least one set of eyes from the St. John's Ambulance being able to watch the track. Jamming for the hardcores is 8-8. Ginger Snaps. And of course, jammer for Scandals, 2-7 is still in the box. And Ginger Snaps gets knocked out and drawn back.
88, knocked out by 88, that's awesome.
Knocked out again and drawn back. As Space Case is fighting their way through the pack as well. Penalty box is now empty, and Space Case has lead. Ginger Snaps is still fighting their way through at the back of the pack. Drawn back yet again. Trying to come up on the middle of the pack. Knocked out yet again. Space Case is fighting their way through and is out, gaining 4 points for Scandals. Ginger Snaps is managed to get the pack to be at the front, fighting their way through, being held back by 760. Ginger Snaps is knocked out again and drawn back again. We have a star pass. That means there's no pivot now. And the jam was called.
Oh, where do we have our 50-50 crew? Do we have a 50-50 this evening? 50-50 crew, raise your hands. Well, you can get your 50-50 tickets here somewhere. But for right now, we've got Ultraviolet up against Summit Slayer. Ultraviolet is lead. Summit Slayer right behind them. Ultraviolet right up to the front of the pack to the Scandal front wall. Summit Slayer around the outside gets stopped by Scream Soda. Scream Soda holding them at bay. Morning Glory now joining in. And Casket for a 3-wall of hardcores up at the front. Scream Soda giving no quarter. And Summit Slayer slips through as no pack is called.
Heart and Hands, your friendly neighborhood community acupuncture and holistic health collective, is here in the heart of Quadra Village. Jamming for the hardcores is Bar Knuckles, and jamming for Scandals is Maniacal Misfit. This is Bar Knuckles' first time out as the jammer tonight. It is also the first time for oh my goodness gracious me. For Misfit. Both jammers fighting their way through, and Scandals gets lead. Knuckles makes their way through the pack, completing their initial pass. Misfit is at the back of the pack, trying to fight their way through for their first scoring. And Knuckles makes it to the box with a cut. Jam is called off. There is 3 points for Scandals and none for hardcores. Team timeout has been called by the hardcores, and we will be starting the next jam as a power jam.
Want to give a shout out to Faded Heart Romantasy Bookstore. Visit Faded Heart and get yourself lost in the book today. We have Sarah Strange jamming for the Scandals. This jam will be a power jam as Bar Knuckles will be starting from the penalty box. Pack tries to picking up speed, but Sarah Strange is through, picks up lead, jammer. Sarah Strange screams around the outside, but gets knocked out, has to come into the back of the pack. Sarah Strange works up the inside, squeaks through, scores 4 points, and calls off the jam. Before Bare Knuckles can enter the pack, it is a 4-0 for the Scandals.
Apparently we have a new vendor tonight. Visit Island Monkey Mobile Coffee trailer outside today. Jamming for the hardcores, we have Casket. Jamming for Scandals is Malice in Wonderland. A quick lead for Malice. Both jammers are out of the pack, making their way around the track. The pack sits on turn 1. Both jammers in the engagement zone, and Malice calls off the jam.
The Zone at 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner. Playing today's modern rock, The Zone is live and on the airwaves right here in Victoria. The hardcores have been scoreless for 4 jams now. Scandals have worked their way up, but it is only a 12-point spread with Space Gaze jamming for the Scandals and Poison Dart Frog now jamming for the hardcores and grabbing lead right away. This is the first time jamming for Poison Dart Frog. Probably not the last. As they skate around the outside, Deeks inside, back and forth. Picks up 4 points. A quick duck up the inside and to the pack again. That is another 4 points for Poison Dart Frog. Space Case picks up 4 points for the Scandals. But it's Poison Dart Frog up against Maniacal Misfit up at the front. Maniacal Misfit and Lilyhammer putting up a wall that does not stop Poison Dart Frog, who is through for another 4 points. And it's the same two, Maniacal Misfit and Lilyhammer, but Poison Dart Frog is through once again. Hardcores tried the sweep. Clear the way for Poison Dart Frog with another 4 points. Quick block tried on Poison Dart Frog. Now is stopped by Lilyhammer up at the front of the pack. Putting up some serious resistance, but there is a forearm called on Lilyhammer, and Poison Dart Frog is through yet again. And picks up 1 more point before the jam is closed. That is a 25-point jam for Poison Dart Frog.
Drop in to Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skates, boards, and gear. That jam brought the hardcores up to over 100 points. And jamming for the hardcores is Leslie McGuire, and jamming for Scandalous is Cinnabuns. And Cinnabons gets lead. Jam is called for injury. Oh, there's our 50-50 people.
We've located our 50-50 ticket, folk. They're up here by the sound booth. Come grab your 50-50 tickets, and you might just leave here richer than when you showed up. We have Casket for the hardcore skating against Cinnabons for the Scandals. Cinnabons quickly off the line, but Casket gains the early advantage, but no! Cinnabons up to the inside and immediately to the penalty box, so it is a power jam and lead jam for the hardcores. Hardcores perform the sweep, get Casket through for their first scoring pass. Another sweep attempt, but it is an blocking attempt by Lilyhammer, although Casket gets through. Casket up against the front wall of the Scandals. All four blockers surrounding Casket. Meanwhile, Cinnabons, through the two wall of the hardcores at the back of the pack, gets through. Is through for their initial pass. No pack has been called. As Casket gets recycled to the back, Cinnabons jumps through and gets their first 4 points off the jam. Casket hot on their heels. And Cinnabons manages to pick up another few points before the end of that jam. It is now 130 for our hardcores and 95 for the Scandals.
A big EOD thank you to our tireless photographer, Paige DeWolf. We look forward to revisiting today's greatest hits through your work. Jamming for the hardcores, we have Manic Pixie Mean Girl. And jamming for Scandals is Sarah Strange. This is Pixie's first time jamming tonight. As they are held at the back of the pack. Sarah Strange was drawn back. Both are in the middle. Sarah Strange drawn back again. Now back in the middle of the pack and sneaks their way through, gaining lead. Pixie is still fighting their way through at the front of the pack. Sarah Strange picks up 4 points as Pixie completes their initial pass. Sarah Strange back into the engagement zone and calls off the jam. Gaining 3 points.
And you can join your heroes tonight at Swan's Brew Pub for the roller derby after party. Tonight, after the bout. And it's Hot Flash jamming up against Summit Slayer. First jam. This is the first jam for Hot Flash. It is Summit Slayer that takes lead. Hot Flash through there for their initial pass. Summit Slayer into the back of the pack, but gets knocked out by Poison Dart Frog, who recycles him to the back of the pack and calls off the jam. It is a 0-point jam.
We can thank Cloverdale Paint for all of the tape for our track. They have helped us going for over 13 years. You can check out their new store in Souk. And jamming for the hardcores, we've got Knuckles. And jamming for Scandals, we've got Malice, who just gained lead. This is the third lead in a row for Scandals. Both jammers have completed their initial pass. Malice is at the back of the pack. And Knuckles sneaks through. Oh, but is recycled back. Malice gains 4 points. And so does Knuckles. Both jammers back in the engagement zone at turn 2. And the jam is called off.
And that is intermission. Remember, 50-50 tickets here coming your way. Grab some popcorn for the Team Canada Juniors and check out the crafts at the EOD table. And we're on an official timeout, just like that.
Should we play why is there an official timeout? Play the game of why there is an official timeout?
A
Hi.
little bit of a
Check.
technological error.
Hello, check. Just having a little bit of electronic issue, that's all.
Thank you so much.
And take two. Slugs Money up against Sarah Strange. As both jammers could jump off the back initially, it is Sarah Strange that slips to the inside, slips to the outside, but it's Slugs Bunny through on the inside for lead jammer. Sarah Strange hot on their heels. Slugs Bunny firing to the back of the pack at top speed. But it's Sarah Strange passes them up the inside. Grabs 4 points as Slugs calls off the jam. It looks like 4 and 3. So 3 points for the Scandals, 4 for Hardcores.
So you will see that Parkway is here helping our skaters stay limber. Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being. And jamming for the hardcores, we have number 8, Scream Soda. Jamming for Scandals is Malice in Wonderland. And Scream Soda gets lead. Scream Soda is being recycled back as Malice re-enters the engagement zone, being held off by the wall at the front of the pack. Scream is fighting their way through the back of the pack. Scar trying to hold off Malice as Malice gets through and scores 4 points. Scream is in the middle of the pack and ekes their way through. Actually got knocked out and so had to go back. Now makes it through, gains 3 points. Malice is back at the back of the pack. Being held at bay by Frog. Scream sneaks by on the outside. Both jammers get 4 points. Both jammers back in the engagement zone. Scream just makes easy work of it. Calls off the jam. Gaining the hardcores 4 more points.
The Zone at 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner, playing today's modern rock from just down the street. And we have Space Case up against Leslie McGuire. Both jammers off the line. It is Space Case with the early advantage, but no, they get recycled to the back of the pack. It is now Leslie up front, up against the Scandals wall. Get a little assistance. Help from their teammate. A late block will knock them out, and it is Space Case that is through. Space Case for the Scandals is your lead jammer. Leslie McGuire recycled to the back of the pack. And again, another time to the back of the pack. Space Case seems to be mired in the pack as well. Stuck at the back in the Hardcore's 3 wall. 4. It is Maniacal Misfit that takes Leslie down Back to the back of the pack. It is another scoring pass for Space Case. Scandals are pulling ahead on this jam. Closing up the gap. Jam is called, and it is now 149 for the Hardcores, 123 the Scandals. Scandals closed up a little bit there.
Again, thank you to St. John's ambulance attendants who are on site tonight. And jamming for the Hardcores, we have Hot Flash. Jamming for Scandals is Summit Slayer. And both jammers are at the back of the pack, trying to push their way through. They are hip at hip. I would say neck on neck, but the hips are what matters. And Scandals is through. Summit Slayer gets lead. Hot Flash being held at bay and makes it through for their initial pass as Summit sneaks their way by on the outside of the pack, gaining 4 points. Flash is back in the... Hottie is back in the middle of the pack as Summit is back in the engagement zone, being drawn back. And Hottie makes it through, scoring 4 points. Summit is being sent to the box for a cut.
Yep. That was
Lead has been lost. This will be a 2-minute jam.
that's a really good call by Hunky Dory.
And Hottie makes it through again, scoring another 4 points. As she comes around turn 4 into the engagement zone at turn 1. Right up the middle and right on through. Hottie scoring another 4 points. Hottie is back in the engagement zone. Gets knocked out. Not too far of a drawback. Oh, and Summit Slayer has entered the engagement zone. Jam is naturally called. 2 points scored for Scandals, no points for Hardcores.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby on Viewfield Road or here on site tonight. Once again, it's Casket up against Sarah Strange. Sarah Strange breaks through the front wall and grabs lead jammer for the Scandals. Casket makes her initial pass. Sarah Strange up through the inside, calls off the jam for 4-0.
Hotel Z rebels against the ordinary, combining a retro aesthetic with modern comfort. Hotel Z is the antidote to boring travel. And jamming for the Hardcores, we have Manic Pixie Mean Girl. Jamming for Scandals, Malice in Wonderland. Malice immediately makes her way to the front as Pixie is being held at the back, pushing hard there, moving that wall as Malice gets lead. This is the 4th lead in a row for Scandals. Pixie still fighting their way at the back of the pack. Oh, they've made it to the front. Moving that wall up as Malice gets drawn back by Scream Soda. Pack is stretched out. Pixie's still pushing. That wall is dropped from 3 to 2. And Malice is still fighting at the back of the pack. And Pixie gets knocked out just as Frog was trying to come and help. The jam is called. 4-point Scandals.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand from scratch with quality ingredients. Empire Donuts here for purchase tonight. You really should sample some of their wares. If you haven't tried Empire Donuts, you really need to get your act together. And it is V-Rex jamming for the hardcores for their first jam of the evening up against Space Case. V-Rex stepping back and forth between the Scandal's front wall. Slowly plying their way through, gets through, and grabs lead jam on their first jam tonight. Space Case still mired in the pack. Sneaks around the outside, but is blocked by Leslie McGuire. Quickly sneaks through. Space Case has made their initial pass. Meanwhile, V-Rex knocked to the outside by Cinnabons and calls off the jam. Is that an 0-0? Looks like an 0-0 jam.
Get your 50-50 tickets now. The ticket will be drawn at halftime in the second game. You could be leaving here richer than you came. We got an official timeout. And that is the end of the official timeout. Jamming for the hardcores, we have Casket. Jamming for Scandals, we have Lilyhammer. Both jammers up against some hard walls there. And Casket sneaks on through, gaining lead. Lilyhammer is still working their way through the middle of the pack. And is being sent to the box for a cut track. Casket enters the engagement zone, then sneaks on through at turn 2, gaining 4 points. We've got a power jam. And Casket's back in the engagement zone and sneaks on by on the inside, gaining 4 points. Hey, can we get some cheering going, people? There we go. Casket's back on in the engagement zone, sneaks on through in the middle this time, getting yet another 4 points. That's 12 points in total so far. And it looks like Lilyhammer's been released from the box. Casket's back in the engagement zone. Lilyhammer has completed their initial pass. Casket makes their way through again, calls off the jam, and gains another 4 points.
Hearts and Hands. Your friendly neighborhood community acupuncture and holistic collective right here in the heart of Quadra Village. And we have Slugs Bunny up against Sarah Strange. Sarah Strange takes a shot at Slugs before wrapping around the outside. Slugs tries up the inside, but it's stopped by a Scandalous four wall. It is Sarah Strange through for lead jammer and off to the penalty box, so lead is lost. No lead declared. Lead was not called before the penalty was issued, so therefore lead is still open. And they took the helmet cover off. Slugs Bunny picks up 4 points, and Sarah Strange screams out of the pack. Definitely on a mission. Meanwhile, Slugs pulls up for another scoring point. 4 more points for the hardcores. And Slugs wraps around the outside for another 4 points. Sarah Strange around the outside. Slugs dancing the way through the Scandalous blockers, taking them all down on their way through. Picks up another 4 points. That is 2 penalties in a single jam for Sarah Strange. Jam has ended. It's 2 minutes. Looks like the hardcores will start the next jam as a power jam. Yeah, right off the top.
There are several fundraisers happening tonight. We've got our charter fundraiser at the craft table. Come and support our charter team. Also, we are sending 2 of our junior skaters to Team Canada Junior, so they're going to be selling popcorn tonight. Support both of these high intense athletes. I blocked my head. I got it. And we've got an official timeout. So out there in the crowd, anybody here for the first time? Oh, that's exciting! You come into the Calamity Cup for your first experience at Derby? Make sure you stick around for game 2. It is going to be the Daisy Pushers against the current last year winners, the Margarita Villains. How many of you are here for the July 4th game between the Pushers and the Brawlers? Wasn't that exciting? All right, we got Barnacles jamming for the hardcores. Sarah Strange is sitting in the box serving 2 penalties. Knuckles is trying to make their way up on the inside. Being held back by 2 players of the Scandals. Now it's dropped back down to 1. Pushing through. And there we go. Lead has been established. That was a lot of work to get through. And then Knuckles sneaks their way through. Gaining 4 points. No pack is called. White 760 is being sent to the box for destruction of the pack. Meanwhile, Knuckles sneaks by on the inside of the track, gaining another 4 points. Knuckles comes through, sneaks on through, up against 1 player from Scandal. Trying to push their way through on the inside, gets knocked out. Not much of a drawback. Oh. Sarah Strange is back in the box for a cut. Meanwhile, Knuckles scores another 4 points. Re-entering the engagement zone. There are only 2 blockers in Knuckles' path. Oh, but the pivot was released from the box and knocks Knuckles out, drawing them back. And the jam is called naturally. Knuckles scored another 3 points. Thank you, Faffy.
Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being. Jamming for the hardcores for a brief power jam was Hot Flash. Hot Flash mired at the back of the pack. Sarah Strange returns to the track and comes screaming up to the inside. It is a dead heat. But it is Hot Flash that has achieved lead and calls off the jam before any points get scored.
Where am I? Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being. Jamming for the hardcores, we've got Slugs Bunny. And for Scandals, we've got Malice in Wonderland. Both of them are being held at the back of the pack. As we come to turn 2, ooh. And it's Scandals who got lead. This is Hip and Hip. Both of them back of the engagement zone at the back of the pack. Here in turn 3. As Malice is drawn back by Frog. Slugs sneaks their way past and gains 4 points. And the jam is called. Gaining 3 points for Scandals.
Visit the Island Monkey mobile coffee trailer outside today in like 10 minutes after this game. We have Ultraviolet jamming for the hardcores up against Space Case for the Scandals. It's a brief hop into the pack by Ultraviolet, but it is Space Case working the front. Space Case is through and grabs lead jammer for the Scandals. Ultraviolet, meanwhile, just mired in the front wall of the Scandals. Defense. Breaks through, makes their initial pass. Space Case, meanwhile, recycled to the back of the pack. Tries one again, skips through the inside, and grabs 4 points. Calls off the jam, and it is a 4-0.
Ooh, we got an official timeout. The Zone 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner. Playing today's modern rock, The Zone is live on the airwaves from right here on Quadra Street. Don't forget to get your 50/50 tickets. Jerry, where are you?
50-50, raise your hands.
Jerry can? Jerry can. Get your 50/50 tickets from Jerry Can.
Here are the 50-50 tickets. Oh my God, I'm lost. You're up next, right? Okay.
That's the end of our official timeout. Jamming for the hard cars, we got V-Rex. And jamming for Scandals is Summit Slayer. And we're off to a slow start. And Rex gets lead. And Summit has made their way through for their initial pass. Rex is back in the engagement zone at the front of the pack, has 2 more sets of hips, and both jammers out of the pack, scoring 4 points each. And Rex calls off the jam.
Visit Favorite Heart Romantasy Bookstore, because it is time to curl up with that good book. courtesy of Faded Heart. And we have Scar jamming for the hardcores in their first jam of the game today, up against Malice in Wonderland. Malice breaks through, takes lead jam for the Scandals. It is a star pass for the hardcores. It is the second star pass of the game, and it is Slugs Bunny that is now jamming for the hardcores. And the jam has been called off by the Scandals. However, yes, 2 points have been managed to be picked up by that star pass for the hardcores.
We're having an official timeout for track maintenance. You can join all your favorite skaters if you're of age at Swan's Pub for the Eves of Destruction after party tonight.
There's our 50-50s.
Oh, look, it's the 50-50. They're right here. They are coming up on turn 3 is our 50-50. Shaking that bucket. Come on, folks, reach in. Get a 50-50 ticket. So as strong as our tape is, these skaters play hard. So we need to make sure that we keep them safe and ensure that the track is in good condition. All right. End of official timeout. We have jamming for the hardcore, Scream Soda. Jamming for Scandals, we got Space Case. Both jammers. Oh, and Scream makes it through and gets lead. Space Case has made it through for their initial pass as Scream re-enters the engagement zone. Got one more set of hips to pass and squeaks on pass, gaining 4 points for the hardcores. And Space Case comes up through the middle, also gaining 4 points for Scandals. Scream makes it look easy and sneaks on through the pack, gaining another 4 points. Space Case was knocked out, but so was the person who knocked them out also was knocked out, so they did not have to be drawn back. And they are out of the pack and gaining another 4 points. Sorry, make that 3. Meanwhile, Scream has made their way through and gained another 4 points.
Whoa!
And a nice apex jump over. Turn 4, gaining another 4 points for Scream Soda. Space Case still in the middle of the pack as Scream enters the engagement zone. Space Case being drawn back. Scream makes it through again, scoring another 4 points. Space Case is in the engagement zone and gets by with a little help from their friends. And receiving a cut track. Power jam for hardcore. Scream Soda has just gained another 4 points and now re-enters the engagement zone. And squeaks on pass on the outside. And the jam is naturally called.
The Zone at 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner. Playing today's modern rock, the zone is live on the airwaves from right here in Victoria. Nope, banner down. How's Casket doing? Pretty much up there, eh? Casket, as far as jamming? It's Casket for the hard course up against the Scandals' Malice in Wonderland. Malice dives to the outside, whereas Casket tries the inside. Casket is recycled to the back of the pack, whereas Malice makes up to the front wall. Wrapping around the front wall, takes lead jam for the Scandals. Casket hot on their heels. The jammers are side by side going through turn 3 and 4. Malice enters the pack first, whereas Casket follows in close behind. Both jammers neck and neck in the pack, but it is Casket that squeaks around the outside. Pick us at 3 points with 1 no pass, no penalty. Jam gets called off. Join all your favorite skaters at Swan's Pub tonight for the Eves of Destruction after party. That's Swan's Pub, right down on Wharf Street near the Johnson Street Bridge.
That is providing you are of age.
Provided.
Jamming for the hardcores, we have Slugs Bunny. And jamming for the Scandals, we've got Summit Slayer. Both jammers are trying to make their way through, and Summit makes it through, gaining lead. Slugs is trying to make their way through, and Summit sneaks on by, gaining 4 points. We have had a star pass. And Summit makes its way through, getting another 4 points for Scandals. Ginger Snaps is trying to make their way through the pack, being held up by a very strong wall at the front of the pack as Summit just sneaks on by, getting another 4 points. Ginger stuck at the back of the pack. Summit knocked out, being drawn back by V-Rex. And Summit sneaks on by on the middle, on the inside at turn 3, getting another 4 points. Rex is trying to assist Ginger Snaps get through the pack as Summit sneaks on by yet again, getting another 4 points. Over in turn 4, Ginger Snaps is still trying to make their way through the pack, being held up by a 2 wall. This is the highest scoring jam for Scandals. Snaps makes it through, and the jam is called off, getting another 2 points for Scandals.
Drop into Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gear. This lineup we have Malice in Wonderland skating for the Scandals up against the Hardcore's Bar Knuckles. Malice right off the line, dancing to the pack, inside, outside, and takes lead jammer for the Scandals. Meanwhile, Bar Knuckles mired in the defense of the Scandals. Wrapped around to the back of the pack. Malice enters the pack, wraps around the outside. Both jammers mired in the middle of the pack through turns 1 and 2. Bar Knuckles recycled to the very back of the pack. Malice calls it off as they're completely jammed up in the front. Cloverdale Paint has helped keep our track going for over 13 years. And thank you to Cloverdale Paint. Check out their newly opened store in Souk.
Jamming for the hardcores this time is Leslie McGuire. Jamming for Scandals is Sarah Strange. Both jammers are stuck in the pack. Lizzie trying to sneak up on the inside of the track. And Sarah Strange is being drawn back. Leslie is at the front of the pack being held back and sneaks through and gets the lead. Sarah Strange been drawn back again. Leslie's at the front of the pack, fighting their way against a very tough wall. Trying a different tactic of going in the middle and being knocked down. As Frog tries to keep Sarah Strange going to the box for a cut. Leslie back in the engagement zone, trying to fight their way through. Frog trying to give an assist and open up a hole for Leslie to get through. Leslie's got one more set of hips, and there we go. And calling off the jam. Here your unofficial score is 257 hardcores and 195 Scandals.
All right, if you can bring your attention to center track, I'm going to present our MVPs in just a moment. Scandals are considering who they would like to have their team spirit MVP. Turn your backs, hardcores, so they can see your numbers. It could be you. All right, I have your MVPs for the Scandals. Your MVP blocker, 760 Maniacal Misfit. Please stay in the middle so we can get a picture of you. Hardcores, your MVP blocker, number 006, Ultraviolet. MVP Jammer from the Scandals, number 55, Malice in Wonderland. MVP Jammer for the Hardcores, 135, Casket. Scandals, your Team Spirit Award goes to number 24, Summit Slayer. Hardcores, your Team Spirit is number 15, Bar Knuckles. All right, folks, we have another game coming up at 7:30. I have no idea what time it is. Grab yourself a beverage, a snack, visit our vendors. There's a coffee truck outside. You're going to have to listen to me as we have the Calamity Cup playoff coming up next. The Margarita Villains, reigning champions, are taking on the Daisy Pushers. Before we begin, the Eves of Destruction acknowledge and thank the Kosapsum Nation and the Songhees Nation, along with the Tsuk and Pachidat, for allowing us to play the sport we love and host our events on their traditional territory. We, as guests, recognize this territory as unceded and honor the ongoing relationship with the land and stewardship of the ʷəŋən-speaking people. We are honored to live on this land and are working toward reconciliation, decolonization, and building relationships in our communities. A few local organizations you can support are the Victoria Native Friendship Center, Raven Trust for Environmental Justice, and ComChem Coastal Connections, Indigenous Harm Reduction and Health Services.
Here you go. Are they doing their skater? Okay. They're ready. All right, we bring you tonight the Daisy Pushers. We have 011 Natural Born Spiller. Number 111 Dragon to Dirt. 19 Gravity Assist. Number 235 Black Eyed Sues. Number 33 Poison Dark Frog. Number 3791 Slayer Moon. Number 40 Wheels of Fortune. Number 46 Hot Flash. Number 555 Chaos. Number 61 Veronica DeVile. Number 68 Duchess of Death. Number 7 Django. Number 73 it's Tombstone. Number 808 Hitsy Bitsy. Number 82 Ukulele. Number 903 Skate Bush. And number 94 Morning Glory. Our bench staff is Nailer, Florence the Machine, Hot Flash, and Black Eyed Sues. That's your Daisy Pushers. Let's give it up. Who's going for the Pushers?
And the Margarita Villains, reigning champions. 0-0 Fanny in the pack. 0-5-5 Polly Rocket. 0-6 Fat Bottomed Hurls. 0-8 Maniac. 1-1-5 Lightning Striker. 1-1-6-6 The Wife of Wrath. 3 Brawl Patrol. 4 Terminator. 4-5-2 The Frenzy. 5-3 Dr. Crusher. 6-0-4 Trish Trash. 6-1-3 Mill Street Bruisery. 6-6-6 Carry Me to Hell. 7-6 The Cunning Linguist. 8-1-8 Brown Sugar Boba. 8-6 Silver Rogue. Bench staff Furious Faff, Lightning Striker, Creeper, Scar, and Punky. You can keep that song going.
And our skating officials for this game, we have Hunky Dorky as head ref. IPR, Rolando Furioso. Wiener, Ohms Lawbringer, Bobby Flair, Honey Kruller, and Ruby Roughhauser.
Our non-skating officials for this game are Eep, Bossy Pants, Zooks, Dutch Roll, Left on Red, V-Rex, Spacey Stacy, Time Bandit, Pinky, and Bossy Pants. That rolling whistle brings us to gameplay number 111, Draginda Dirt in white for the Daisy Pushers, number 06, Fat Bottom Hurls in black for the Margarita Villains. Both jammers pushing at the back of the pack. Dirt in former position. That's Hurls with an open inside line. Lead goes to the Margarita Villains, but Draginda Dirt is not leaving space. Both teams moving forward. Hurls calling out to their team. Both jammers coming into the pack hot. Hurls on the outside, Dirt on the inside. Hurls on the ground with a tap to the hips. 2 points in the air for the Margarita Villains.
Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being.
The Cunning Linguist, number 76, Lingo in black. This time with Gravity Assist jamming for the Daisy Pushers. That's number 19. Gravy at the front of the pack is through. Once again, opposing jammer not far behind. Both jammers racing for points. Position at turn 1 is going to determine it. Hands to the hips. That's Gravy with the call off. This time it's 2 points to the Daisy Pushers. Looks like we have a late penalty there called on Lingo. That takes them to the penalty box. It'll start a power jam in favor of the Daisy Pushers. Lingo will start in the box. That's Slayer Moon jamming for the Daisy Pushers. Hitsy Bitsy taking a trip to the zone at 91.3 penalty box. Mo at the front with Wow to beat. Wow gets supported by Trish Trash. Trish on the ground, but Wow is still in the way. Pack is spreading wide. Mo pushing in the middle, pushes Wow out of the way, gets lead for the Daisy Pushers. That's taken up the whole 30 seconds that Lingo had to sit in the box. Lingo back on the track. Power jam is over. Both teams battling at turn 2. Lingo pushed to the back. Mo at the front. The tripod supported by the Wife of Wrath. Lingo pushed to the inside. This time we've got number 93 Morning Glory supporting the Daisy Pushers at the front of the pack. Wheels of Fortune holding that space. Tombstone comes in with a late hit. Lingo makes it around the outside. 3 points at the end of that jam for the Daisy Pushers. None for the Margarita Villains. The Eves of Destruction wish to thank all of the outstanding sponsors that fund the gameplay you enjoy. As we tell you more about them tonight, consider if you too would like to help keep us rolling into 2027. Contact us at sponsorship at eavesofdestruction.com.
All right, next up we've got 3-3 Poison Dart Frog for the Pushers, and for the Villains we got 008 Maniac. Both jammers pushing in turn 1. It looks like Maniac is out for lead jammer. Let's hear it. Frog not far behind. And calls it off for quick 4 points for Maniac.
Parkway Physiotherapy and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being.
We've got some hugs at the jam line. We've got 111, Draginda Dirt, and number 3, Paw Patrol. We've got Papa on the ground, Draginda Dirt. They're still both in the pack, pushing through. And that Spiller gave a run back to Papa. Both jammers are being run back. Draginda Dirt being knocked out by 1166, Wife of Wrath. And that's Draginda Dirt is your lead jammer. Paws taking off the star, looking for a pass. Pushing on a tripod at the back. No pack called, and that's Term with a run back for Draginda Dirt. Jammers have to come up behind the person who knocked them out, so that's what you're witnessing there. We've got Draginda Dirt just past turn 2 or turn 1. And another run back by Wow. Both jammers still not getting out of this pack. Draginda Dirt is still lead. And that was a star pass to Wife of Wrath. Dirt is calling that jam off.
The Zone at 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner playing today's Modern Rock. The Zone is live on the airwaves from just down the road here in Victoria. We're coming up on Jam 6. This time we've got Fat Bottom Hurls, number 06, wearing the star for the Margarita Villains. Gravity Assist, number 19, jamming for the Daisy Pushers. That's Papa with a hit to the inside, looking to draw Gravy back. Gravy manages to stay in. Trish Trash holding at the front as the pack rounds turn 1. Gravy with a duck around the outside. Lead goes to the Daisy Pushers. That's 2 in a row for the Daisy Pushers. Fat Bottom Hurls with helmet cover in hand, being drawn back by Chaos. A little trip around the hips there as Gravy is out at the front. Hurls with helmet cover in hand makes it through. That's an initial pass completed for the Margarita Villains. Gravy on a second scoring pass, ducks around the outside, takes another 4 points. That brings our score to Margarita Villains 6, Daisy Pushers 17.
That was awesome. In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby on Viewfield Road or on site here tonight.
The Cunning Linguist, number 7-6 at the back of the pack, jamming for the Margarita Villains, pushing towards the front. 3-7-9-1, that's Slayer Moon, facing a solid tripod. That's anchored by Fanny in the pack at the front. Fanny to beat Lingo with all 4 Daisy Pusher blockers. A double anchor there by Morning Glory. Pack is slowly moving into turn 1. Both jammers digging deep. Lingo working on the inside line. Lingo finds space on the outside. Wheels of Fortune and Hitsy Bitsy move to the front, trying to catch Lingo again. Fanny in the pack, the last one to beat for Slayer Moon. Mo on the ground, makes it past. Lead goes to the Daisy Pushers. 3 in a row for Daisy Pushers now. Lingo drawn to the outside of turn 1 by Hitsy Bitsy. Back of the pack. Outside line left open. That's through for an initial pass for Lingo. Mo dropped to the ground behind number 3. Lead is lost with the penalty assessed to Slayer Moon. They're going to take a seat in the Zone at 91.3 penalty box. We've got 45 seconds of jam left here. Lingo being held by a tripod. Hitsy Bitsy, Tombstone, Morning Glory. Offensive help comes in there from the Frenzy. That clears things up. Lingo is through the pack, carries 4 points with them.
And a great whip from Fanny.
Back in the pack. 25 seconds left in the jam. Lingo goes to the outside. Side surfs along the line. Wheels of Fortune tries to chase that down, but Lingo's through with 4 points. Meanwhile, Mo is out of the penalty box. Dr. Crusher sees that coming, holds the inside line. Draw back by the Frenzy. Pack is spread out. All players back in play now as Lingo is working toward the front. It's the end of a full 2-minute jam. In that jam, the Margarita Villains put up Waiting to see my numbers. There we go. 11 points to the Margarita Villains in this jam, 2 points to the Daisy Pushers. That brings our score within 2 points.
Have a little music, Peter.
It's a close one.
Our amazing crew of dedicated officials is one of the Eves of Destruction's biggest assets. From non-skating officials to on-skate officials, they make it possible for us to enjoy the sport we love so much.
On the jam line, we have White 33, Poison Dart Frog, and for the villains, 008 Maniac. Both pushing on some pretty tough tripods. And it's Maniac able to step up on the inside line and get lead. Poison Dart Frog, Froggy with the hat with a star off. And makes it out as well. Maniac trying to get through for their first set of points. Calling off the jam. And looks like they got 3 points on that jam, bringing the score Margarita Villains 20, Daisy Pushers 19.
That's a lead change for those of you playing on along with any kinds of games in the audience.
Time to hydrate.
Time to hydrate. 06 Fat Bottomed Hurls puts on the star for the Margarita Villains. Draginda Dirt 1-1-1 for the Daisy Pushers. These two jammers have faced each other in the first jam of the game. That time Hurls got lead. Both jammers still at the back of the pack. Draginda Dirt finds a line on the outside. Lead goes to the Daisy Pushers. Helmet cover has been passed. Trish Trash now our jammer of record for the Margarita Villains. That's number 604. Draginda Dirt calls that jam before Trish Trash can make it to the pack. They grab 3 points.
Hotel Z rebels against the ordinary, combining a retro aesthetic with modern comfort. Hotel Z is the antidote to boring travel. I think they're calling a team timeout.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand from scratch with quality ingredients. You can get yours here tonight. I had an apple fritter earlier. That was my dinner. Probably not my best choice, donut and caffeine, but that's my treat. I come to Derby, I get my donut.
I am also having a donut for dinner tonight. Are there any more donuts left? Yes. Oh,
We're getting a little bit. Oh, if you want your donuts, you better get over there quick. It looks like 8 donuts left.
8 donuts.
It's an emergency. Some Skate Bush fans in the audience, I hear. I'll bet you those are the kind of people that could start a wave going around the room. Meanwhile, we've got the Cunning Linguist at the back of the pack right now. Gravy pushing towards the front. That's the Daisy Pushers with forward position. Margarita Villains at the back. Gravy takes the lead for the Daisy Pushers. Cunning Linguist with helmet cover in hand, pushed to the outside. That's Chaos with a drawback. Lingo still holding that helmet cover. Gravy at the front, pushing against Margarita Villains' pivot. Fanny in the pack. Fanny the one to beat. Terminator taking a trip to the 91.3 penalty box. Gravy gathers up 4 points. Lingo at the back of the pack moves towards the apex. Fanny in the pack hit to the back. Gravity assist on the outside. Fanny on the inside. Lingo pushing on the outside. Hit to the outside by Shango. Gravity assist coming through for a third scoring pass. Fanny anchoring the Margarita Villains tripod at the front. Gravity through with 3 points. Shango pushing Fanny in the pack off the track. Having a trade out in the penalty box. Looks like Terminator is back. Number 903, Skate Bush, takes a seat in the 91.3 penalty box. Gravity assist on their fourth scoring pass through. Cunning Linguist holding that helmet cover. Working on an initial pass for the Margarita Villains. Terminator holding pack. Hit to the outside. Gravity assist going to the back. Lingo hit to the inside, comes back in behind Shango at the front of the pack. Fanny in the pack and Chaos spreading the pack. Gravy finds a little more space on the inside as that jam comes to an end. Cunning Linguist just manages to make an initial pass, but that was 5 scoring passes for the Daisy Pushers. Your current score, Margarita Villains 20, Daisy Pushers 42.
Next on the jam line, we have 3791 Slayer Moon. And for the villains, we have number 3, Paw Patrol. Both jammers are off looking for an outside-inside line. And it looks like Pawpaw is away and is your lead jammer for jam number 11. We have a star pass for the villains. Tombstone is now the jammer for the pushers. Number white 7-3. And they're out. Tombstone. Pawpaw coming around turn 2, calling the jam before Tombs could get there to attempt any points. So that's 4 for the pushers and 0 for the villains. My apologies, 3 for the villains.
Get your 50-50 tickets now. The draw will be during the halftime of this game. You could leave richer than when you arrived. If you look in the back at turn 1, you'll see Eves of Destruction members waving their arms wildly. That's where your 50-50 tickets are. I hope they shout louder than me. We've got Maniac for the Margarita Villains, Poison Dart Frog for the Daisy Pushers. Maniac drawn to the back behind Chaos. Poison Dart Frog at the front position. They're facing a tripod anchored by Trish Trash. The Wife of Wrath and Terminator in that tripod. Pack is getting closer together at turn 1. Shango with a hit to the inside, recycles 008 Maniac to the back. Meanwhile, Poison Dart Frog comes in behind Trish Trash at the back. Moving through turn 1 and into the apex, Maniac gets hit inside. That's a long recycle. Lead is still open 45 seconds into this jam. Pack has not made it past turn 1. Trish Trash on the ground as Poison Dart Frog comes in behind the Wife of Wrath. Wow, reforming at the front with Fanny in the pack. Poison Dart Frog is now in forward position. Pack is spreading wider. Chaos taking a seat in the zone at 91.3 penalty box. Maniac at the back of the pack. Pack is moving through the apex into turn 2. Poison Dart Frog makes a move to the inside. Destruction of pack penalty goes to Shango as lead is finally declared. And the jam comes to an end.
Mm-hmm. We're on an official timeout. And up at the jam line next, we have 06 for the villains, Fat Bottom Hurls. And for the pushers, we have 111, Draginda Dirt. These jammers have jammed against each other. Each one has had lead once. We'll see what happens. Jam starts. Hurls pushing at the front. Dirt pushing on a tripod at the back with Crusher, Brownie, and made it through, but got pushed to the back behind Frenzy. And Hurls is your lead jammer. Chaos now coming out of the box. Draginda Dirt is now released from the pack. Hurls coming around after her first scoring pass and calls off the jam. And a very subtle hip tap. Very subtle. That's our Hurls.
Heart and Hands, your friendly neighborhood community acupuncture and holistic health collective here in the heart of Quadra Village. This is our first time seeing Carry Me to Hell out as the jammer. They're jamming against Slayer Moon. And that is Carry Me to Hell with a lead. This is the villain's fourth lead in a row as Carry Me to Hell is into the pack on a scoring pass. With a little help from Trish Trash at the end there, that's Hell through with 4 more points. Slayer Moon heading to the penalty box with the helmet cover in hand. That makes this a 30-second power jam in favor of the Margarita Villains. Carry Me to Hell back in the pack, getting some offensive help from both Chaos and Tombstone. Wait, that's defense. Chaos and Tombstone are the opposite team. Oh, we're all friends here, right? This time that's some clear offense from Fanny in the pack. Fanny holding the inside. That's Trish Trash holding the inside. Chaos hit out. Trash with the drawback. Hell through at the front. BOdựECHEN go out from the penalty box, as well as Slayer Moon with the helmet cover in hand, makes contact at the back of the pack. Forearm penalty takes Chaos to the zone at 91.3 penalty box. They're joined by Slayer Moon returning for a second penalty. Carry Me to Hell takes a ride on the back of Trish Trash, makes it through the straightaway open. 4 points for the Margarita Villains. Villains lining up for some offensive moves. Carry Me to Hell's last scoring pass there gave us another lead change. If you folks are hydrating with lead changes, this is now the Margarita Villains in the league. That's now 47 points for the Villains as that jam comes to an end. Daisy Pushers holding steady at 42 points.
Aye, aye, aye. Second lead change in the first half. The Zone at 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner playing today's modern rock. The Zone is live on the airways from right here in Victoria. We have a team timeout. Who here in the audience is cheering for the Margarita Villains? Let's hear it.
All right, let's hear some noise for Daisy Pushers. Looks like our fans are looking for an upset this evening. Margarita Villains are our reigning champions. Will we see it?
We've got Mo, Slayer Moon, just coming out of the box for the Pushers. 3791. Wife of Wrath into the penalty box. And we have Paw Patrol is your lead jammer for the Villains. This is the 5th lead for the Margarita Villains. We've got Mo now out of the pack for their non-scoring pass. Paw Patrol just passed turn 2 and got out with a little skip. Here comes Mo looking to get through and successfully gets their 4 points. Pawpaw in turn 3 up against Hitsy Bitsy. And that jam is complete with Margarita Villains scoring 7, Daisy Pushers 4 for a score of 54-46.
Visit the Island Monkey mobile coffee trailer outside today. That is not a note for me. I have had my caffeine. I am uncomfortable with it.
Those drinks looked good.
We've got Draginda Dirt and that looks like Lingo number 7-6 facing each other. Draginda Dirt taking a forward position with immediate offense help from Chaos. Lingo pushing at the back. Tripod anchored by Veronica DeVille. Pack held by Chaos and Trish Trash. Pack moves into turn 1. Dirt finds their way through the inside. Lead goes to the Daisy Pushers for the first time in 6 jams. Lingo chasing that down. Full Pack is moving fast through turn 3 into turn 4. We have 2 villains left on the trash. It's Trish Trash and the Frenzy trying to haul that down. Jam ends with Draginda Dirt on the inside. 2 points go to the Margarita Villains.
That was a huge hit by Trish Trash. Next up on the line, we have Gravity Assist for the Pushers. And for the Villains, we have Maniac. Looking for a little run-up, it looks like. We have Fanny in the pack looking to interrupt some of a white tripod. Maniac gets a hit out by Bitsy, pushing in the back. Gravy in turn 1. Skipping away off turn 1, your lead jammer is Maniac. Gravy with the star off. Pass, successful star pass to Tombstone. Maniac coming in for a scoring pass. Skipping again on the inside line and calling it off. With a nice flare at the end. For a nice 4 points.
Drop into Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gear. They also have some roller derby equipment there. You can grab some wheels, helmets, protective pads. They're also a really big help if you need some maintenance done on your skates. That's Influence Board Shop. All right, we've got Fat Bottom Hurls against Poison Dart Frog. Both jammers tight at the jam line. Some defensive start there from Fat Bottom Hurls pushing Poison Dart Frog to the outside. Frog's pretty agile and moves to the inside, but the outside line at turn 1 is the space. Lead goes to Margarita Villains. Poison Dart Frog puts a helmet cover in hand, sneaks through the pack. Initial pass completed for the Daisy Pushers. Hurls on the outside of turn 1, hands to hips, calls that jam. 2 points in the air.
A big EOD thank you to our tireless photographer, Paige DeWolf. We all look forward to revisiting today's greatest hits through your work. Squaring off of the jam line, we've got Slayer Moon and Lingo. Lingo getting hit out by a Tombs. And we've got Mo pushing at turn 1 against a pretty hefty tripod. Both pushing. Another run back by Tombstone. Those can be deadly. Here's some penalty calls. And we've got Mo up at the front against a 2-wall. Fanny and Wow. That's not fun. And we've got Tombstone looking to provide a little bit of offense for Mo. And now we have a tripod, 3 strong up at the front. The rear is out of play, which means they have to move up to join the pack. Mo pushing here close to turn 3. Lingo not far behind. These are solid tripods. Lingo getting hit back. Pack is reformed, gives Mo a little chance to get forward. Pushing up against Fanny, out of play. Fanny was 20 feet away and needed to let Mo go, which they did. Lingo is pursuing Mo. And we have Mo calling off the jam. There's some tough defense out there tonight.
Well, Jerry, this looks pretty fun. I'll bet you there's some people in the audience right now that think, wow, I want to do that. You sure could.
Any Derby curious folks out there?
Have we got some info for you? Thursday, August 27th at Ollie Quinn, that's 531 Pandora. You can join us for an info night, learn a little bit about roller derby, and we'll bet you we'll convince you to get some skates. Not that night, but pretty soon. Come and join us. Just like Carry Me to Hell, currently wearing the star for the Margarita Villains, and Chaos number 555 for the Daisy Pushers. This is the first time we're seeing Chaos with the star on the helmet cover at the beginning of the jam. Ukulele coming out of the penalty box. This is Ukulele's last game with the Daisy Pushers. They're moving to Chilliwack after this game. We're 30 seconds into this jam. We do not have a lead so far. It's Carry Me to Hell in forward position. Yuki holding the space. Frenzy coming up with some offense. Chaos on the outside. Frenzy's in position to slow that down. The Wife of Wrath and Terminator in position. They're holding Chaos at the front of the pack. Shan go with a hit to the outside. Takes Carry Me to Hell all the way back to turn 1. Chaos finds space on the inside, but Terminator makes a hit and draws it back. Chaos comes forward, and Shan Go is there with some offensive help. The Wife of Wrath anchoring the front of the pack. Pack is front. All those villains join in the blocking. Carry Me to Hell at the back. Frenzy joining at the front. It's a push to the outside. Forearm penalty takes the Frenzy to the zone at 191.3 penalty box. Terminator with the draw all the way to the back. Carry Me to Hell in forward position. All skaters at turn 3. Veronica DeVille knocked down, but they are back up and holding pack in contact with Carry Me to Hell.
This is a jam with no lead.
No lead with
10
10
seconds left.
Carry Me to
folks.
Hell.
2 whole minutes without lead jam.
Pack is at a standstill, anchored by Shango at the front. Chaos Agile at the back. And that's 2 minutes, no lead.
Give those teams a hand. That is some incredible defense and some very intense pushing.
Join your heroes at Swan's Brew Pub for the Roller Derby after party tonight. I got some new heroes in that jam. 2 minutes with no lead.
Absolute heroes, all of them.
Stupendous blocking.
Buy them all a drink tonight at Swan's, folks.
Let's have a little music.
Hurls and Dirt, we're ready to go, but it's an official time out. The pusher's bench was into that jam, into that song.
We do have a jam starting. Our scoreboard looked a little bit odd for a minute there. Hitsy Bitsy thought they had a penalty, but were called back. We do have a lead. That's Draginda Dirt for the Daisy Pushers. Fat Bottom and Hurls chasing it down. Pack is moving fast through turn 3. Both teams trying to get in superior position, give their jammers the most advantage. Dirt gets up to those villains and taps their hips. That is the Daisy Pushers calling for an official review. We saw the intermission sign on the board there, so this may pause us a little bit before we officially go into intermission. We'll give the officials some time to consider, and we will hear from our head ref whatever is being reviewed.
Do we have more donuts still? 2 donuts left, folks. 2 lonely donuts. It's cash only, but I recommend them.
Are you getting the donuts?
Are you offering us the donuts? Is there some?
No, Chris,
No, we
we're
can't-
working. We don't
we're
drink
working.
while we're
We
working.
can't do that.
Okay.
Someone's offering us drinks, which is a very lovely offer.
looks like
but
some people
we're
are-
on the job.
We went into intermission. Your opportunity to buy drinks is kind of over now. We stopped selling drinks at halftime. So if you're not already in line for drinks, you may be missing out. Run over there, find out if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, carefully. Trot over briskly without being at risk. We have our same facing off lines as we had at the very beginning of our first half. We've got Fat Bottom Hurls wearing the star for the Margarita Villains. That's number 06. Draginda Dirt 111 wearing the star for the Daisy Pushers. Fat Bottom Hurls immediately defensive play, hit off Bitsy, chases through the inside, plows through, lead goes to the Margarita Villains. Draginda Dirt making their way past turn 1. The Frenzy and Trish Trash holding that space as Fat Bottom Hurls re-enters the back of the pack on a scoring pass. Inside line is left open. Hurls through with 4 points for the Margarita Villains. Draginda Dirt recycled into the pack. Tripod anchored by Trish Trash. Frenzy joins that. Some space created by Hitsy Bitsy. Bitsy gets in the way of Fat Bottom Hurls on a third scoring pass. Draginda Dirt coming into the back of the pack. That jam ends with the Margarita Villains pulling ahead. Current score, Daisy Pushers 50, Margarita Villains 71. This is actually a remarkably low score, isn't it, Jerry, for the second half of a high-level game like this?
Absolutely. Remember that jam when there was no lead? I can't remember the last time I saw a jam where there was no lead for an entire 2 minutes.
At all in jam 20 of the first half.
In this jam, we have Gravity Assist and Lingo. Gravity Assist pushing in the front now in turn 1. It looks like all 4 pushers are defending against Lingo at the back. These are very tight. This is a very tight pack. Looking for some offense. Lots of jostling here. Good communication from what I can hear. Just pushing and digging. And we've got Gravity just pulling a little bit ahead, but there are 4 villains in front of Gravity Assist. This could be another one of those jams. It's been 40 seconds. Looking for some offense. Gravy getting pushed, drawn all the way back by Term. And we have Skatebush going to the penalty box, the 91.3 zone penalty box. Both jammers stuck in turn 2. And Term has run back a jammer who got, I believe, a cut call. Maybe didn't see Term, so Gravy going to the penalty box. So that is a power jam for Lingo. Fighting against 2 pushers at the front. Lead is still open. Got a full force. Got 2 pushers at the front. Lingo pushing against the pushers. We've got Chan Go and Dutchy. And Chan has just gotten a forearm and is joining in the box. 20 seconds left, and Lingo just got lead, but has 15 seconds to maybe get a point or 2. Gravity Assist now out of the box in turn 3. And she did it. 4 points for Lingo, and Gravy pushing in turn 3. So that was 4 points for the Villains and 0 for the pushers for a score of 75-50.
You know, Jerry, before we started that last jam, you and I were talking about how even the leads are and how long we've gone without leads and even not having a lead. It's so even that in our first half, there was 9 leads for the Margarita Villains and only 10 for the Daisy Pushers. These teams are really evenly matched right now. We've got Maniac skating for the Margarita Villains. That's number 008. Slayer Moon 3791 for the Daisy Pushers. Slayer Moon getting a little bit of help from Hitsy Bitsy, but it is Maniac out at the front for the Margarita Villains. That's lead all 3 of these first jams of the second half to the Margarita Villains. Shango out of the penalty box chasing down Maniac, but it's Hitsy Bitsy at the front of the pack with the Bitsy hit to the outside right in front of her family. How nice of her. Maniac comes in behind Hitsy Bitsy with the long drawback. Dr. Crusher taking a trip to the penalty box. The inside line open there for Maniac. Some space created by the wife of Rack. We've had a star pass, it looks like. Shan Go is now our active jammer for the Daisy Pushers. Held up on the wife of Wrath and the Frenzy at the front of the pack. Pack is being held by Carry Me to Hell. Hitsy Bitsy filling in some space. That's way at the back for Maniac right now. That back tripod being held by Ukulele. Shan Go pushing at the front. Wife of Wrath and Frenzy slowing things down. Pack is moving slow. Dr. Crusher out of the penalty box. Maniac looking to the outside. Hit out. Dr. Crusher moves things around. Hitsy Bitsy looking to make a long drawback. Maniac comes in at the back behind Bitsy. Shan Go at the front makes it past the wife of Wrath at turn 4. That's an initial pass completed for the Daisy Pushers. From the ground, Maniac calls it next to their bench. Another long jam, 8 points put up by the Margarita Villains.
That was some effortful blocking at the front there. I hope there were some great photographs taken. Saw some very effortful expressions.
We've got Paige DeWolf in the middle of the track there with the camera. They're capturing all the fun. Watching Poison Dart Frog bounce up and down at the back here. They like to make some space so that they get a little bit of a run up. You cannot be moving with new momentum when the whistle blows, but Poison Dart Frog is great at getting that movement so that nobody knows where to expect him to be. That's Poison Dart Frog with the lead for the Daisy Pushers. That's the first lead for the Daisy Pushers in this second half. Brawl Patrol, our jammer for the Margarita Villains, through at turn 1. Frog looking for some information, some instruction there. Naylor tells Frog to draw it off.
A very excited Froggy. Love to see it. Margarita Villains 83, Daisy Pushers 54.
Cloverdale Paint has helped keep our track going for over 13 years. Check out their newly opened store in Souk.
Squaring off at the jam line again, we have Draginda Dirt for the Pushers and Fat Bottom Hurls for the Margarita Villains. This is the second time we've seen these two in this half. And Hurls for the lead. Draginda Dirt getting dragged back by the Frenzy. And a great juke to the inside. Makes her way out for her initial pass. And Hurls going through, collecting her 5 points. 4 points, excuse me. And calls off the jam before Dirt can score any points. So that's 87 for the Villains and 54 for the Pushers. I'd love to draw your attention to a new tradition we have, or maybe an old tradition. If you look at just over by turn 1, there is a tower of cans that folks are adding to. We'd be a shame if someone got knocked into that.
For shame, for shame. Carry Me to Hell is wearing the star for the Margarita Villains. That's 666 in the black jersey. Number 19 in the white jersey. That's Daisy Pushers jammer Gravity Assist. Grady currently in forward position nearing turn 1. Carry Me to Hell working hard to get past the jam line. That's Shan Go with the drawback. That pack tripod reforms at Chaos. Meanwhile, Gravity Assist held up on the wife of Wrath. Hips around the inside of the line. Lead goes to the Daisy Pushers. Trish Trash headed to the zone at 91.3 penalty box. Carry Me to Hell with the helmet cover in hand. Working their way on the inside, gets knocked in by Shan Go. Gravy against a tripod, this time anchored by Dr. Crusher. Chaos comes in to make some chaos in that tripod. Gravy stays stuck behind it. Pack is in the apex. Both jammers digging hard. Gravy has lead right now. Carry Me to Hell in back position. That tripod being anchored by Spiller. Gravy in the front. The Wife of Wrath gets a forearm penalty. That makes some space for Gravity Assist to get out of the pack. They gather 4 points on behalf of the Daisy Pushers. WoW takes a seat in the zone at 91.3 penalty box. Trish Trask returning to the track. Gravy comes in hot at turn 2, clears some space on the inside line. Trish Trash trying to slow that down. Gravy makes it around Trash. 4 points to the Daisy Pushers. Looks like we've had a star pass at the back. Chaos is now our active jammer for... No, that's not Chaos as a jammer. Chaos is drawing back as the pivot. Carry Me to Hell is having to work around Chaos. Gravity Assist continuing to hold that lead position. Knocked to the inside. Jam comes to an end. Another 4 points at the end of that for the Daisy Pushers. We have an 11-point jam for the Daisy Pushers. Our current score, 65-87.
Parkway Physio and Performance Center is a place where personalized care meets specialized treatments and where patients are empowered to take control of their health and well-being. We have Froggy for the Pushers and the Cunning Linguist, Lingo, in the back for the Villains. Pushing against Uke, Tombs, and Morning Glory. And we've got Froggy pushing in turn 1 and is out with your lead jam. Lingo with the star off up against Hitsy Bitsy. Lingo making one arm out and then gets the run back from Tombs. You could hear Lingo's very distinctive call. And we've got Froggy up against Term for their points. Get 4 points right there for Froggy. And we've got the pack just coming out of turn 2. There's a star pass to Fanny and the pack. And Froggy sneaks through on the inside line in turn 3 for another 4 points. And Fanny got through the pack. Has the star in hand. Froggy going for another round through the pack. Gets halfway through, calls off the jam before Fanny can get in there for points. So that was an 11-point jam for Froggy, and it's getting close again, 87-76.
We could see some interesting strategy there at the end of that jam. I'm not sure if all of our crowd caught it. As Poison Dart Frog was coming through on that final scoring pass and nearing the front of the pack, just as he raised his arms to start calling the jam off, he made a quick flip and got his hips ahead of 2 of the skaters. The way we score points in roller derby is by the position of your hips. If your hips pass the hips of an opposing blocker, that's when you get their points. So that quick flip you saw from Poison Dart Frog and then the quick movement of his hips to get ahead of just 2 people, even though his shoulders didn't pass, those are his points.
Absolutely, those are his points. It's, sometimes there's some meaningful eye contact with your jam ref to see that that's what you're doing, and they see it all because we love our officials. Thank you so much.
That was 11 points scored in that jam by Poison Dart Frog, and this is now an 11-point game.
Whoa. Also, I had someone in the audience ask me a question that I did not know, which, I mean, I don't know a lot about Derby, but there's dots on the scoreboard. And
Oh yeah, I can tell you about these
are-
dots.
Yeah. Can you tell me a bit about those?
Each team has 2 sets of dots. You'll see 3 dots at the top and 1 dot at the bottom. Those 3 top dots are our timeouts. Each team gets to have 3 timeouts. The bottom one is your official review. If you call for an official review and you are successful in that request, you get to retain that just once. If you're not successful, you lose that official review. If you want to use it strategically as a team timeout, you can do that as well.
Amazing. So it looks like Daisy Pushers have a timeout left, is what I can see.
Our ever-loving head ref, Wiener, has asked for us to thank our track repair crew. Can we get an applause for that track repair crew? Those folks are doing some hard work.
And at the jam line, we've got Paw Patrol for the Villains and Slayer Moon for the Pushers. Slayer Moon going side to side, looking for some space on the line. And we've got Paw pushing at the front. Couple of penalties. Looks like we have Chaos from the Pushers going to the penalty box. And Paw Patrol is your lead jammer. Looks like we have a power jam now as Slayer Moon goes to the box. And all of their players are moving forward, trying to give all offense. And we've got Paw in the front, successfully through for 4 points, but not without a penalty from one of the Villains' blockers, 818 Brownie. Slayer Moon is almost out of the penalty box, and Paw Patrol is out again for another 4 points. Mo star pass to 555 Chaos. Breaks out of the pack. Paw Patrol looking to get a few more points. Calls off the jam. Let's see if they did it before. Chaos got some points before Paw Patrol could call off the jam. Score is now got 1 point. Score is now 98. Sorry, 2 points. Score is now 98-78.
The Zone at 91.3 is our exclusive radio partner. They play today's modern rock. The Zone is live on the airways from here in Quadra Village. We've got Maniac, number 008, wearing the star for the Margarita Villains. At the back of the pack right now, 111, Draginda Dirt. Pack is starting to spread wide. Trish Trash looking to bridge that space. Maniac through for the Margarita Villains. That's lead to the Villains. The Wife of Wrath headed to the Zone at 91.3 penalty box. Pack is reforming at turn 1. Draginda Dirt with helmet cover in hand, trying to make it past to the front. Little offensive help from Pivot Tombstone. Draginda Dirt finds their way past Terminator and Trish Trash. Maniac on a scoring pass. Calls the jam off just as they clear the front of the pack. That's going to be 4 points to the Villains. And they're going to hold the Daisy Pushers to no points in that jam.
Thank you to St. John Ambulance attendants on site today. Thank you so much.
All right, we're seeing some typical jumping at the beginning behind the jam line there by Poison Dart Frog. Frog playing against 06 Hurls. Two very different jam styles here. Frog relies a lot on their agility and quick movement with those long legs at the back of the pack. Hurls with some hard pushing at the front. Frog finds some space inside past their own skaters. That's lead to the Daisy Pushers. Hurls with a whip past Fanny, both jammers in scoring position. Margarita Villains at the front of the pack. That makes a little bit more room for Frog to go before calling it off. Once again, we see that spin around, get the hips ahead of as many skaters as they can. And it works for Frog. 2 points for the Daisy Pushers.
Oof. Sometimes this is close. In a roller derby, this could be one jam away from a lead change. You never know.
That's right. 22 points is not unheard of for a single jam.
And next jam, we have Gravity Assist and Lingo. Lingo with a star pass off the line. Interesting move. We got Gravy pushing in the back here.
That was a star stash. Lingo
Star
comes through with
stash.
it.
Oh, yeah. And cannot get lead jammer because she took the star off. And so Gravy calls off the jam and was the lead jammer because Lingo had taken off the star. Does that all make sense? No? Okay.
I mean, it makes sense to me, but I go to practice a bunch of times a week. So for the rest of our fans, that all worked the way it was supposed to work. And it was some good strategy. We're not going to see it again right away, though, because it's unlikely. We could. I don't know. Never say never. Let's see what Mo does. They might have some tricks up their sleeve. Or Maniac. Maniac's at the back of the pack right now. They're facing up against Chaos, anchored by Veronica DeVille, but at the front, Mo is against Terminator. One blocker to beat at the front. Terminator gets joined by number 055. That's Rocky at the front with Term. Mo trying to leverage their height against Terminator. Push to the outside. Pack is holding. Term is holding. Mo sticking to the middle of the track. And that's it. Lead goes to the Daisy Pushers. That's 3 in a row for the Daisy Pushers. We've got Maniac hit to the outside by Chaos. Chaos with the drawback. Trish Trash headed to the penalty box. Looks like that might have been a bit confusing for other skaters that were trying to draw back, not knowing who was on track and who was off. Trish Trash takes a seat in the penalty box. Scoring pass completed by Mo. Mo is back in the pack. We've got Maniac at the back of the pack. Chaos with the hit to the outside. Mo coming through at turn 3 for a scoring pass. Maniac held up behind a tripod, anchored by Veronica DeVille. Veronica DeVille comes in with the hit. Vile goes to the inside, but so does Maniac as a recycle back. Mo once again against Terminator. This time Rocky anchoring with Mill Street Bruisery at the front. At the back, Chaos is continuing to mess things up for Maniac. 3-7-9-1. Slayer Moon through on another scoring pass. Maniac still has the helmet cover in hand. There's still our active jammer. Chaos trying to hold that position. Maniac down on the ground. They have made a very sneaky star pass. Trish Trash now our active jammer for the Margarita Villains. Slayer Moon continuing on a scoring pass. Once again with Terminator to beat at the front. That jam comes to a natural end, I think, there. I think that whistle went before Mo started tapping their hips. We have 15 points to the Daisy Pushers in that jam, bringing our score now to 95 Daisy Pushers, Margarita Villains 102. That score is tightening up. We still got 10 minutes of gameplay. Jerry, this could still go either way.
There's that last timeout. Team timeout for the Daisy Pushers. I have to take a breath. Wow, that was some incredible jamming with some excellent offensive hits from Chan Go.
Timeout for the Villains.
Oh, team timeout for the Villains. My mistake. Thank you, Left on Red. The Daisy Pushers still have their team timeout, and you can tell because there's a dot on the side, which I just learned about today.
That's right. That flashing dot means this is now a team timeout for the Villains because it's flashing. They're using it right now while we watched. It's fading away.
It's right there on the scoreboard. I'm learning things. If you want to learn things, maybe learn how to derby. We're going to have a Learn to Derby info night at Ollie Quinn on Thursday, August 27th.
Ollie Quinn is at 531 Pandora Avenue.
And what time is that at?
In the evening.
Okay.
Hurls and Draginda Dirt. Wow. Dirt is through with lead. That's 4 leads in a row for the Daisy Pushers. Hurls pushing past Bitsy. Through with an initial pass. Dirt on a scoring pass. Calls that jam off. Collected 3 points along the way. Edging that score ever closer. The Daisy Pushers have held the Margarita Villains scoreless for the last 5 jams, really making a run for this Calamity Cup with 9 minutes still on the scoreboard and only 4 points between them.
This is an exciting game. How about we get a round of applause for our jammers and our blockers? What? We've got Trish Trash on the line and Poison Dart Frog. This is Trash's first time as a jammer out tonight, but it's Poison Dart Frog with the lead. Trash taking the star off, looking for a pass. Froggy looking for some space on the inside line, doing some jukey stuff in line 1, turn 1. And Trash is out. And Frog is out for their first 4 points, making some eye contact with their hands up. Are they going to call it? Yes, they're going to call it off.
Folks, we have a tie game.
Are you entertained?
Friends, I have goosebumps. I'm so excited. If you can read the body language of the skaters around you, including at this table, wow, are we excited. Maniac is jamming against Gravy. Gravy hit to the inside, recovers quickly. Maniac pushing at the back. That Gravy's recovery was not successful. They got a cut track penalty. That means Daisy Pushers are not eligible for lead now. Power jam in favor of the Margarita Villains. Maniac with Bitsy to beat at the front. Lead goes to the Margarita Villains. It's been 6 jams since the Villains had lead. That's Tombstone with a hit to the outside. Terminator stops the drawback, but Bitsy's in position to make it a return. Maniac finds space on the inside line. 4 points, Margarita Villains. We have left the tie zone. Maniac coming in for a second scoring pass. Gravy out of the penalty box. Gravy at the back. Maniac at forward position. Tombstones and Bitsy to beat. Knocked to the ground, still on the track. Wheels of Fortune bridging the pack. Bitsy with the hit to the inside. Bitsy with a long drawback. The rest of those Daisy Pushers stay at the front, maintaining position. Gravy moves to the outside. Bitsy changes to offense. Maniac comes through and hits that wall, anchored by Wheels of Fortune. Maniac hit down on the inside at turn 2. Pack is moving slow with 30 seconds left, and that is a star pass from Gravy to Tombstone, number 7-3. Maniac through on another scoring pass, calls that jam off.
That was a good one. It is a nail biter. 8 points difference with less than 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. Wow. I'm verklempt. I don't know what to say. But I will say Paw Patrol and Slayer Moon are our jammers for Jam 16, and Chaos with the drag back for Paw Patrol. Slayer Moon jockeying side to side, close to turn 1. And Paw Patrol stuck, just still moving their feet at the back against Chaos, Vile, and Dutchy. We've got some calls for Mo. And there's a run back and a cut call for Slayer Moon. So it's going to be a power jam for Paw Patrol. Lead is still open. Again. There appears to be a goat in the back. And Paw Patrol got out for lead jam. 1 minute left in this jam. Scoreless. Still a power jam for Paw Patrol for the Villains. And that was a forearm call on Dutchy. Paw Patrol calls off that jam. Scoreless. With just under 5 minutes to go in this final. That was 2 points for the Villains. For a score of 112 to 102. 10-point difference.
Hotel Z rebels against the ordinary, combining a retro aesthetic with modern comfort. Hotel Z is the antidote to boring travel. We've got Lingo number 7-6 as our only jammer out on the track at the beginning of this. Slayer Moon starting in the penalty box. Lingo at front position. Slayer Moon hits the pack out of the penalty box. Lead is open to either of those skaters. If you start in the penalty box, you still could earn lead. Lingo currently in forward position, tripod anchored by Bitsy, Natural Born Spiller in that tripod. Mo at the back, Terminator, Fanny in the pack. They are anchored by Dr. Crusher. Carry Me to Hell holding the space in between. Tombstone anchoring at the front. Lingo getting some offensive help from Carry Me to Hell. They move Natural Born Spiller out of the way. Hell reforms the pack. Mo at the back. Dutchie coming in with some offensive help. Lingo hit to the inside. Drawn back by Bitsy. Offensive help by number 6'8", Dutchie, pushing Terminator to the outside. Dutchie gets a direction of gameplay penalty with that. Tombstone and Dutchie both headed to the penalty box. Daisy Pushers down 2 blockers. Lingo with only 2 to face, but those 2 are tough opposition. That is Hitsy Bitsy and Natural Born Spiller at the front of the pack. Lingo finding space. We have lead after 1 minute and 15 seconds of gameplay. 3 leads in a row now for the Margarita Villains. Natural Born Spiller hitting Terminator to the inside. Lingo looking for some outside space, but Hitsy Bitsy gets their hips there. Lingo calls it from the ground.
Oh no. Amazing.
Margarita Villains making a run to come back with this lead, where current score is 102 to 116. The Villains with 3 leads in a row. That is a team timeout being called by the Daisy Pushers. Jerry can see the flashing lights.
There's some very sweet, what is that called? Ring Around the Rosie happening with the pushers. Ring Around the Daisy with Frog, Chaos, and Shango. Villains strategizing at the front. It's a daisy chain. Oh my god. This jam is starting with 2 daisy pushers in the box. A bit of a defensive advantage for the Villains. We've got Hurls on the line against Poison Dart Frog. This is Jam 18, folks. And those daisy pushers released from the box. And there's a run back of Hurls by the daisy pushers. And that's Chaos with another run back for Hurls. And Trish Trash gave a run back to Frog. Lots of defensive hit outs. And that's Hurls as your lead jammer for Jam 18. 30 seconds of pushing. And now some point scoring opportunities for Hurls. Pushers still pushing in the pack. And Frog is still looking to get out, and that's Hurls for 4 points. That's 120 score for the Villains, and now Froggy is out. Froggy is out. Hurls is looking for another additional points. The pack is speeding up, and Hurls calls off the jam. For a total, there was 2 points scored for the Villains. Total of 6 scores 122 to 102. Oh, my heart. I have to check my heart rate. It's up there. We have Gravity Assist and Maniac on the jam line. Maniac moving side to side. gravity assist in turn 1, pushing against a very tough tripod. And chaos with the run back for Maniac.
Folks, this is our last gem. If you're going to make some noise, do it now. Keep it going, keep it going. Give these people some energy. Who's it going to be? Can we pull 20 points out? Could this tie up? Who's going to get the lead? Keep it going. We've only got a minute more of gameplay total. No lead so far. Maniac's in the front. Hit to the in. Gravy's at the back. Gravy needs some energy. We've got 50 seconds. Gravy's on the outside at turn 3. Oh, that's Fanny in the pack with the hit to the outside. Gravy's got to come in again behind the Life of Wrath. Maniac's got space on the outside line. Here comes Ukulele. And it's through. Maniac with lead for the Margarita Villains. Last minute star pass to Bitsy 808. Penalty. This gem has to play out. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds, fans. 5 seconds. The Margarita Villains have held on to their championship. Our unofficial score, Daisy Pushers 105, Margarita Villains 122. Folks, gather around the outside of the track. Congratulate your skaters. I'll see you in the middle for our MVPs. As our skaters skate around and get their congratulations from you, I'm going to let you know that's a wrap on 20 years of destruction. This is the end of year 20. Follow the Eves of Destruction on your socials for 2027 game dates. Margarita Villains making their way around the track. These are your league champions. Let's hear it for the Daisy Pushers. All right, folks, I have your MVP awards here. Whoa, I forgot the most important piece, folks. I have to give somebody the Calamity Cup at the end of this. It's right here. I'm a brawler. This is the first time I've touched the Calamity Cup in a few years. That's right. You can laugh at my expense. All right, pushers. Your MVP blocker, number 82, Ukulele. Just hang out here with me. Stand next to you. Villains, your MVP blocker, number 00, Fanny in the Pack. Pushers, your MVP jammer, number 19, Gravy. Villains, your MVP jammer, number 008, Maniac. Pushers, your Team Spirit Award goes to Ukulele. Villains, your Team Spirit Award goes to 513 Mill Street Bruisery. All right. I'm going to get some pictures. I'm going to get these pictures with these MVPs, and then I'm going to hand this trophy back to the villains. All right, Margarita Villains, League Champions 2026. Here you go, Margarita Villains. All right, fans, that is 20 years of Eves of Destruction. Our 21st year coming up this spring.